I can tell you what I just told Mike Keith. He said, would you thought you wouldn't make a three? I think he said in the last 35 minutes. And I told him, I said, Mike, you forget how old I am. I said, I still believe in the single wing. And, I played when there was we played everything 15 feet and in, so I'm good with that, But those guys played big for us, obviously, but our guards, I think we had 3 perimeter guys with 8 rebounds. Jaylen had 8. But we needed all of them. We really did. I mean, Auburn's a really good team. Steven's done a great job with his team, and they've gotten better from the beginning, and they're a very efficient offensive team. He does a great job of getting his players in the position where they're really effective, and we've got to stop fouling. I mean, we just too many things, but yeah, our front line, that was something that we haven't had for a couple of years, and with Dwayne Brown's going to be a really good basketball player. He is now, and he's come quicker than we thought. We've talked about that, I think, in the past, but we need Jaylen's consistency. That's what we need as much as anything, and JP staying out of foul trouble. But tonight, a lot of different guys, and it was truly a team win tonight because they kept pushing, and they weren't able to get it. I was there thinking, especially in the first 4 minutes, second half, people were asking me about, I think we fouled 6 times in 4 minutes, and it was because they were playing harder. They came out at halftime, and it had nothing to do with officiating. I mean, we fouled because we were back on our heels. They were going right at us, and that's where we've got to mature as a team. But there was one time during the timeout, I said, hey, guys, we've got 4 freshmen out here, and it's time you guys grow up. And they came out and did a pretty good job for us.
I asked you yesterday about Dwayne maybe hitting a freshman wall, and he comes out tonight and fills up the stat sheet, has the best plus-minus on the team. What specifically was he better at tonight versus at Alabama or Georgia?
Sometimes guys are just content to play a role because they think so-and-so, it might be their time or whatever, as a freshman, not wanting to maybe step on somebody's toes or minutes, whatever. But with Felix being out, if he tried everything to get ready, but he couldn't do it, and they got to play. And I don't know, they see it differently when they're in that situation, but we told him, and we've been telling him, he's hit a plateau and he's got to make that next move, and it's harder than you think, especially this time of year, because most people think freshmen hit the wall this time of year and go backwards, and it's not that he hasn't gone backwards, he just hasn't progressed. But tonight he finally understood what we meant, and he went out and competed at as high a level as you could compete.
There was that 7-minute stretch in the second half where Jacoby had to sit with 4 fouls, and you guys maintained the lead with Nate and Bishop and especially Amari Evans. Just what did you see during that stretch with Jacoby?
It was good for us because, again, I think that, when Jacoby's out there, sometimes he's got to stop fouling the situation he's in, but we've in practice actually, I think a week ago, we wouldn't let him practice. We said we're going to learn to play without him, and we had him because he was tired, and so we went 2 days where he didn't do hardly anything because we can play without him, and the ball moves a little bit more, and that's what we're trying to get him to understand, that he's got to get off of it some and let it get back to him. But I thought it was great for those guys, and I thought they were confident, and they should be because they've worked hard together, and they know they need each other, and I didn't think at any point in time when that stretch was going on that anybody really left anybody on an island by themselves, and they were out there really trying to help each other. The talking was really good with that group.
Kind of on that same thing, could y'all survive the 7-minute stretch without Jacoby 2 months ago?
That's a good question. Maybe not, but we're more prepared now than ever to do that. And, if it happens, it happens. Even Troy hasn't been able to practice or do much in the last week, and we have confidence in him. We thought Troy was really heading in the right direction. I still think he is. It's just that he hasn't had many reps because he did a little bit in practice yesterday, but we didn't do a lot in practice yesterday, and so he went in, and he's not afraid of the moment, but we just got to get him work back in there.
Felix's issue, and when did it show up?
Calf. He had some calf problems. Yesterday, it was after the Georgia game. I don't know if he got kicked there or whatever, but it was in his calf.
How would you evaluate the interior defense without Felix tonight?
Okay, I mean, we put in a zone we've never worked on. Went boxing one, we never worked on it for a couple of possessions, just trying to buy some time, and my thought is we don't know what we're doing, they may not either, but I will say Steven's done a really good job, he really has, and they play hard, they defend, they've gotten better and better, and we knew it was going to be a really hard game. We really did. I mean, we came out and made some threes early, but I didn't realize. I don't think we made one. The last 35 minutes of the game? Is that right? Is that right? I mean, I didn't think about it, but like I said, I'm okay with that. But again, we need everybody, and if we could ever get everybody at one time playing to a high level, we got a chance to be a pretty good basketball team.
Coach, tonight was a real physical game, but Nate Ahmet was getting to the basket more and more as the game went on. How pleased were you to see the shot selection that he had? I know he went 4 for, 16 I think it was, but he was getting to the free throw line. How pleased were you to see him get into the basket?
Yeah, he'll make some of those shots. I mean, he'll miss, but again, he impacts the game. He's gotten better defensively, and he had some big rebounds tonight too. I mean, those rebounds were big that he came up with, but free throw line, he was great. How many fouls did he draw? He drew what? How many fouls did he draw? Was it 9? Is that right? Yeah. That's huge. I mean, that helps his teammates. But yeah, Nate. I really felt that he's been good all year. I've told everybody that he's never played on the perimeter, both offensively and defensively, the way he is now. So he's came to college, a whole different game, physicality, all that. But I really felt mentally, he had his good moments but whatever, right prior to since the Florida game, he has seen the game totally different. You can just see it. You can just feel it. He's talking. He's coming to the bench. I mean, tonight he made a great cut against his own the first time they went there, and he's starting to tell guys what's going on out there, and he's getting so much more vocal. And again, he's just seeing the game at a level where I think he let go of whatever pressure he was holding on to, and because he wants to be so good, he wants to almost be perfect. And we had to talk about it. I said, you're never going to be perfect, but you just got to be who you are and play. And really, starting with the Florida game, he's just been a whole different player mentally.
Coach Pearl talked about the first 15 minutes of the game and how the defense punked them. A lot of that can be said for the front line tonight. What did you like mostly about their focus, of course, with Felix Akpara being like a game-time decision? Well, one, we have a lot of respect for Auburn, and we watched them, and we told our team how good a team they were. And they've been as hot as any team in the country, and they're going to win a lot of games. And we knew we had to be ready to play, and we came out, and I thought we were locked in. I think we were really locked in but we also know how explosive they can be. But I'd say the same thing. They came out and punked us the first 4 minutes of the second half. I mean, and that's why, again, I don't have any problem with 6 fouls because we were fouling. But we've got to just get more consistent, and we've just got to stop doing. I mean, at the end of the game, some of the passes that we throw, and I mean, I don't know what to say other than sometimes I wonder if my guys are betting on games. I shouldn't say that, but that's what erase that. I don't want to say that. But I just wonder what's happening. I mean, because I know we're too good of players to do that. Was that a bad? I apologize. I shouldn't have said that, but because I'm. But the fact is, we got to get smarter. We do. We got to get smarter. We have to, and we have to, and that's and they know it. We got a good group of guys, and I know they don't want to do it, but sometimes we play so hard on defense, and we're playing at a really hard, frantic pace, and we're not able to gear it down like we need to on offense because it's got to be played at a different pace, and we're still a little bit too frantic on the offensive end.
You talked about the way that you thought these guys could play
good offense without Jacoby in there and play good defense without Felix in there. But for the guys themselves to see that in a game like that, how much can that help when the players can actually see something that you tell them is going to happen?
Well, I do hope they see it and feel it. We've talked about it, but it's one thing to do it in practice, but it's another thing to have to do it when the bright lights are on, and they did it, and it's something that we can build on, and it's something I think Jacoby can build on. I think he's the one that needs to look at it as much as they did it, because they stayed together, they were confident, but because he gets himself in trouble sometimes by trying to do too much, and but I think the more he can sit there and see some of the things. I mean, Jacoby's been put in a position he hasn't been all year. I mean, he's the #1 target. He's absolutely one of the best guards in the country. Everybody knows what he can do, but he's got and I keep telling him he's got a great mid-range game that for whatever reason he won't get to it. He wants to keep going too far with it, but I think the more he can sit and watch too, like when he came back in, he was great defensively. And I think he saw it differently. So maybe it'll be good not only for our team, but for him as well.
In what ways are you guys a more mature team now than y'all were a couple weeks ago?
Well, I would say one of it is the communication. I think that we got a group of guys that are talking. We still can get better coming out of timeouts, listening, those type things. But a great example the other night against Georgia. We had come out of a timeout, and I wanted to make sure they understood exactly when I walked into the timeout, Nate was telling them, hey, this is what we're doing if they're in a zone, this is what we're doing if they're in the man, and more of that happened tonight. And when you start getting those guys talking like that and seeing it, and is everybody at that level yet? No, but we're getting closer.
With Jacoby, those back-to-back, not back-to-back, but 2 consecutive fouls on 3-point shooters leading to 4-point plays. Is that just fatigue?
No, it's not. He can't put himself. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what I said at halftime. I've already said something I shouldn't say, but you can't do that. I mean, we're good with them shooting 33s if they're contested, but we're not. We can't. I mean, JP did the same thing. I mean, I think we fouled 3-point shooters tonight. That I can't. I'm not going to say the word I told him, but you can't do it. You just can't do it, and it has nothing to do with fatigue. It has to do with understanding that they're going to really protect 3-point shooters in every way possible, and you just don't put yourself in that position. But you also don't do what Amari did at the end. I don't know if you saw what he did. They shot him 3. He just and you can't do that either. But at least he didn't foul. I'd probably take that over the other.
How does Jaylen establish consistency?
I don't know. You ask him. You guys talk to him about it, or we'll talk to the guys that work in the studio at ESPN. They got all the answers, Let them tell me, because I know we've talked about it a lot. We've talked about it, and it's him. I told him today before shoot around, at some point in time, he's going to have to look in the mirror and be real with himself, knowing how much this team needs him and how much he needs that we need to count on. But he's got to do it, because we've talked to him a lot about it. And it's on him to push himself to that point he can do it.
Is it a good sign, though, that he graded through his injury tonight?
Yeah, I mean, he said he's been fine. I mean, we actually took him out at the start of the second half because we told him, you're not going hard enough. And he came out and he said, I got it, because we had not a good offensive possession, and he didn't make an effort. And but that's something that he's going to have to. And he's got so much more in the tank. He got so much more left if he would make up his mind that he wants to dominate in his own way.
Rick, you had the win last year here over Florida without Zakai and without Igor, not having Felix and with Jacoby being in foul trouble. Can you get a little bit more out of these kind of resolve kind of wins than maybe your typical win that you can build on?
That's a great question, and I will tell you, as soon as we go into games and when we're playing against somebody that all at once game time decision they don't play, the first thing that goes through your mind as an opposing coach is somebody for them is going to step up. It's an opportunity for somebody, and you hope your guys don't let down because, okay, this guy's not playing, and then but it goes back to the game a year ago with Florida to win that game. It did help propel some guys to where they got it, but then I go back to that game now. I know some guys that had some good games, but then they came back to practice and felt good about it and didn't climb. And I think I could answer it two different ways. Sometimes you just want to play the team that you've prepared for, because I've seen that throughout my career where somebody goes down and the other team just gets something extra, and they come out and they're playing. And on the other hand, you see some of your guys, like last year, our guys come in and have success, but then they don't handle it well. And hope we can handle the stuff like with Jacoby not playing as many minutes. I hope we can handle that well. I hope that I told him my biggest fear ever in coaching has always been complacency from everybody. Once you start winning games and you start thinking that it's never easy. We've told them every night, expect to be in a possession game. I think 1 in 4 SEC games this year has been decided by a point or a possession. And complacency is an evil, and because if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. Because I've got so much respect for coaches and players in this league that they all want to win at the highest level, and if players don't realize that they've got to get better every day, it gets away from you.
Last one from Trevor.
Getting shots up through contact, is that the kind of aggression you're looking for out of him as he's searching for this consistency?
Well, if he can get it, we want him to shoot a shot he can make. And early in the year, he was throwing the ball up there, trying to score through 3 guys. We really love it when he kicks it out. He made a great one tonight where he kicked out, and we want those inside-out threes too. But if he gets position and plays through people with 2 hands, he did it. I think what did he do for the free throw line tonight? He looked very comfortable there tonight, shooting it. What did he end up with? That was great. How many fouls did he draw? Let's see. Can you guys see it? What he drew? He drew 3 fouls, but again, his offense, he does a pretty good job of rebounding his shots. But I'd prefer him to make the first one, to be honest with you. But he's again, we need him. We need him to be everything that we know he can be. All right, thank you guys. Y'all can erase that one comment. Can you? It's what? Yeah. Yeah.
We got freshman forwards and Jaylen, Dwayne Brown the second year. We'll go right into questions. Please raise your hand, wait for the mic. Start with Ben.
Dwayne, what was different about your mindset tonight compared to the Alabama and Georgia game?
I wouldn't really say it was anything different, but with Fee being out, Fee being down, somebody's going to have to step up. So I just embraced that role, and I just came in with a mindset I was going to do my job, and I was going to rebound and bomb play defense.
For both Dwayne and Nate, Coach mentioned that you guys had a practice where he made Jacoby sit. How much did that help in that stretch in the second half where he had to sit with 4 fouls?
I think it definitely helped a lot. Being with Jacoby being so dominant when he's on the court, we have to figure out sometimes how we can play without him. So I feel like him doing that in practice did come into play with us today in the game.
Right, what he said.
I guess, Nate, what did you learn about this team during those practices when Jacoby wasn't out there?
Well, it's not going to take just one guy to step up to take Jacoby's place when he's not playing. It's going to take all of us. We got guys that can do it, and really talented players all around. So for us, it's just trusting each other, knowing that, when someone else has the ball, they're going to make the right play, even when Jacoby's out, and even on defense, just trusting that I got their back, they got my back.
Dwayne, Stephen Pearl said that when you and Jaylen are in there together, it's like a couple of SEC defensive ends. Talk about the two of y'all, how many minutes y'all play together, and what y'all do provide when y'all are in there together as a tandem.
I feel like that one thing that really, not just me and Jaylen, but us with all of our bigs, one thing that we can bring to the table is on physicality. So with me and Jaylen in that game, I mean, of course, we're both in the paint. We're both trying to get every rebound. So it's probably, for the other team, definitely very hard to keep us both off the board at the same time.
Nate, the team shot 81% from the free throw line tonight. Is it bring more confidence knowing that the whole team can now sink free throws, knowing there were struggles earlier in the year from the stripe?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially when we're getting it going and at the end of like regulation, they're gonna foul us, and to have players in the game that can make free throws just makes all the difference. And I mean, everyone believes in each other to make free throws, so we just gotta step up with confidence, knock it down.
Nate, you probably know more than anybody, but how true is that sentiment that they're like a pair of defensive ends?
No, that's really true. In practice, when I play in the floor, I gotta guard him and stuff like that. It's tough, man. He's yeah, no, it's true. It's true.
Nate, after the Florida loss in Gainesville, you talked about how you all needed to maybe get on to one another more often and become more comfortable, uncomfortable. Do you feel like that team or your team has done that the last couple of weeks, and how much do you feel like the team has grown over the last week with these 3 wins?
Absolutely. I mean, I think we're just kind of finding our rhythm. Every single player is kind of finding their role and what they got to do and what they got to do better. I mean, just a lot of credit to the guys on the team, working so hard and working hard to help me to grow as a player, but also like we're growing so much as a team on and off the court, spend time with each other, but also just like that time on the court is so valuable to us. We're learning every practice, every game, how we can be better.
Dwayne, how is this a more mature team than y'all were a couple weeks ago?
I really feel like the main thing that come to play with is all just the mindset that we have. I mean, dropping the games that we dropped that we felt like we were supposed to win. And coming up in other games like these and big games that we know we have to win, I really just feel like it's just a mindset.
Nate, you think Dwayne's an underrated passer?
Dwayne?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. He's like, I remember when we first, I don't really want to talk, I don't want to be, he's right next to me, I don't want to really, but I remember when I first, first meet him, I never seen him play before. He's just a super high IQ player. He can't jump over, 2 stacks of paper, but he can really pass the ball. He knows the game, and I just feel more comfortable with him out there. He gets the offense flowing every time he's on the court.
Nah, but the one I can remember the most is Jacoby on the back cut.
Coach said that played a couple zone, some box and one tonight, just without Felix in there. How comfortable are you being able to switch defensively like that when you haven't played much of that this season?
I mean, I think we're pretty comfortable doing it. Again, it just goes back to us trusting each other, that we got each other's backs. Yeah, I mean, I think at one point we had 4 freshmen on the court and we were doing a 2-3 zone and we were just trusting each other, and that just comes from time spent together. So for us, it's just knowing that we got each other's backs anytime we're on the court.
And last question.
Dwayne, this might be a silly question because I know y'all like to score y'all's points, but you filled up the stat sheet tonight. Is there a particular stat that you appreciate the most, that you want to fill up the most?
To be honest, coming in every game, I always want to have the most rebounds possible, which I should have had more than I did tonight, but that's just going to have to come with work.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.